Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I'm going to be reacting to Fiona Apple, The Idler Wheel. In fact, it's actually called The Idler Wheel is Wiser Than the Driver of the Screw, and Whipping Cords Will Serve You More Than Ropes Will Ever Do. What a mouthful. And I thought Lana's new album was a mouthful, but no, that tops it for sure. But yeah, this was requested by Alfonsi Quintanilla. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Honestly, I am sorry. But this was requested by Alfonsi, I think. Let me know if I'm saying it wrong. Let me know how it's said. But yeah, this was requested by them on Patreon. Very much looking forward to it because it's been some time since I did Fetch the Bolt Cutters, which I really did enjoy as well. If you'd like to go to Patreon, all the links for that will be in the description. There's lots of different things you can do over there and see and so on. Also follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely things. You know the deal. Just get on with it, okay? But most of all, enjoy the video. Anyway, let's start. Let's begin. First song is called Every Single Night. Yeah, also, actually, just before we start, Idler Wheel came out in 2012, which is 8 years before Fetch the Bolt Cutters. So I wonder if the sound would be quite different, or I'm going to find out. Don't know why I'm trying to speculate. Let's go for it. Every Single Night. I've got the lyrics up too. Should have my glasses on.
Every single night I endure the flight of little wings of white flame, butterflies in my brain trickle down the spine, swarm the belly swelling to a blaze. That's where the pain comes in, trying to fit beneath the skin. No, every single night's a light with my brain.
Wow.
What I say to her, what I say to her, what does she think of me? That I'm what I turn out to be, it's got to be somebody else. What I am is what I am, cause I does what I does. Then brother get back, cause my bread's gonna bust. And I just made a meal for us both to choke on. Every single night it's a fight with my bread.
That's so cool.
I just wanna feel everything. So I'm gonna
That's so
try
cool.
to be still now. If we had a double king size bed, we could move in midnight, soon forget. And maybe I'd relax, let my breast just bust open. That's why the devil just can't get around me. Every single night's alright, fight. And every single fight's alright. Hey, hey, I just wanna feel everything. Feel everything. I just wanna feel everything.
Wow. I didn't really want to say much throughout because I just wanted to digest it all. What a cool song. That's really setting the album up for something. It felt very introductory, minimal instruments. I feel like even in Fetch the Bolt Cutters, the instrumentation was minimal yet chaotic, and obviously interesting sounds were used, you know, different bits of this and that. It's all clunky is what it is, but put together so well. Even her vocals are clunky, but but not like clunky in a way where you'd think it's making lots of mistakes or terrible or like clumsy. It's not clumsy, it's clunky. It's so like like, you know, like bolts and like things. You know what I mean? It feels like it kind of like falls into place, which is awesome because she's like, I just wanna feel everything. It's not like, I just wanna feel. There's no like stringing it together. It's feel. It's like got a glottal onset with each of that feel. You know, it's like starting it It's not moving as one word. It is literally like each syllable or like whatever movement she's making has like a interest. It has an onset to it, you know. Adam, have you turned the internet off?
I did by accident. It's because Opie was eating the lights.
I was like, what's it? I just saw my Spotify go blank and I was like, what? What are you doing in my video?
Seeing as I've already ruined it all.
Yes.
Can I get the hairdryer, please?
Yeah.
I was thinking about coming in and doing a willy flap dance.
Oh my god.
Obviously, that would be vastly inappropriate and you'd be angry.
Yeah, especially if I was in the middle of listening, because I can't react.
Obviously, I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
But I was just thinking about it.
Look at me. I've got really painful neck things happening, like spasms.
Ow.
I know. Very confusing. I'm like, oh. Anyway, I'm in my flow state.
Love you.
Love you. But yeah, the song sounds like it's her kind of fighting with her brain each night and all the different like thoughts she has. A little bit is what I'm thinking. But she also says, I want to feel I just want to feel everything. Like, what does that mean? Is it like she wants to stop thinking and she just wants to feel instead? Like, I wish I could stop thinking and just, you know, literally physically feel the things around me, feel the present, feel the softness of the bed, feel the sleepiness, feel comfort, and stop all this thinking, you know? I don't want to fight with my brain. Oh my God, when she's saying the brain bit, oh, come on. That reminded me of Florence, and I'd be an absolute idiot not to mention Joanna Newsom whilst listening to this. I mean, come on. There are definitely similarities there, which is wonderful because I'm going to be doing a Joanna Newsom reaction very soon, actually. Like, I've got one request, patron request in between that, and then Joanna Newsom as a second patron request after that. So, yeah, not long now. And let's have a look at the About section. It's her lead single off the album as well. Here, Apple illustrates a complex relationship with big feelings. During these sleepless nights, she takes on this fiery range of emotions. Eventually, Apple learns that while she holds an indispensable fire within her, she is not a beast. Feelings are precious and transient. Ah, okay, that's written interestingly. Kind of adds more to it than like just bad thoughts that you're wrestling with. Maybe it's like that super ADHD thing where at night and you go to bed, you suddenly get big, bright ideas and like all these things you want to do suddenly become alive at night. And you're like, I'm trying to get to sleep and I'm here having these big, bright ideas and feeling passion and feeling like I want to do something about it, you know? And then usually in the daytime, you don't have those thoughts at all. It's just when you're going to sleep. Yeah, it does kind of sound like both the things I mentioned, either fighting the thoughts to get to sleep for sure, but maybe not for terrible reasons, but maybe for terrible reasons too, you know? She says that's where the pain comes in, like like a second skeleton trying to fit beneath the skin. I can't fit the feelings in. I love that line. How visceral is that? Like thinking of another skeleton trying to get under your skin. It's like too much is going on, you know? Like she's trying to control herself to go to sleep, but she feels out of control of all her thoughts and feelings. It's as if there's another skeleton trying to make her do something else, you know? But in that very first verse, she says, these ideas of mine percolate the mind, trickle down the spine, swarm the belly, swell into a blaze. That's what makes me think of those like inspiration and ideas and, you know, things that you're like, oh, I need to get up and do this because I feel the inspiration, I feel the motivation for it right this second. It makes me think of that. I used to get that all the time, and I still do to some degree, actually. Well, I definitely do. I definitely do. But yeah, and then in the second verse, she's saying, I say to her, why did I say it to her? What does she think of me? Feels like she's recalling a scenario, like thinking of memories of that day and being like, why did I do that? I should have done this. Oh no, if I could do it again, I'd say it like this. You know, it's like all those like non-stop mechanics going on. So yeah, really cool. I'm not going to go too long though. We get the idea. Absolutely loved it. And I really did. Like when it first starts, I'm always a bit like, okay, what's happening? Okay, yeah, just trying to like acquaint myself with it. I haven't heard Fetch the Bolt Cutters in a while now. I did mean to listen to it before I did this reaction, but completely forgot to. But my daughter and sister really like some of the songs on Vegetable Cutters, so I hear it often. But anyway, next one is called Daredevil.
I guess I just must be a daredevil. I don't feel anything until I smash it up. And all I want's a confidant to help me laugh it off. And don't let me, I may need a chaperone.
Wow. See what I mean by clunky? It's shown even better in this song.
Say I'm an airplane and the gashes I got from my heartbreak, and I use them to give me lift. Hip, hip for the lift, hip, hip for the drag. I want them all in my bag. But don't let me ruin me. I'm a chaperone. Seek me out. Look at, I'm all the fishes in the sea. Wake me up. Give me what you got in your mind.
Chills.
In the middle of the night. Me look out for you. Protect what I found in you. And never let it stop. Skirting the skirt like I want to. And I will try hard to hold on to you with open arms. I may need a chaperone.
Feels so matter of fact, if you know what I mean. Especially as I may need a chaperone. It's like very like halt. It's almost something like a marching about it, like a soldiery thing. You know what I mean? With those drums, for sure, the percussion, and just like the intensity of it, you know? Also, I was thinking of, obviously, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. A lot of it was, well, I think all of it was recorded in her house. And in some ways, I feel like it was this as well, because it has like a very... It does have similar sounds. It really does. It feels like very raw in places, not like produced in a very clean, compressed way. It feels kind of live in parts. Loved all the positions her voice was in. Some starts over here, then it will end up over here, then it will be in the center, but it'll be like one voice here, one voice there, one voice there, you know, all spreading off into different like branches almost, which I loved. Had no idea what the song was about. Sometimes it's really hard to like read along with the lyrics and take it all in when I'm trying to listen to every single sound. So I'm a bit like, it's kind of like difficult when it comes to lyrically charged albums. And then with the music also being such an intense and like big part of it, is so hard to take it all in. That bridge though, that croak in her voice, like that real like, I can't even describe that croak nor replicate it, because it's her. It's very much her. The space in between the croak, instead of it being like a rasp, it is raspy, but it's got so much like width between the croaks that it just gives it this whole entire like different feeling. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, perfect. Let's have a look at the about section. Apple talks about how she's only attracted to extremes and is only able to feel or enjoy things when they're the most they can be. She's also saying how she wants someone to be with her when her pursuits inevitably end with her in need of support. Okay, to be honest, I think I was getting that along the line, actually. When I was listening, I was like, that's kind of what I'm getting from it. I actually do really understand that, because I don't know for her, but for my sake, living with depression, very like heavily in it at the moment, doing the things that you'd usually feel happy with and you'd usually find fun might not have much of an effect. So by doing like great big things that are fun, something extra and extreme, you actually feel a little sense of like more joy. You know, you get more joy from that. But you've got to be careful, because some of these extremes can be impulsive and dangerous. So it's fun to do when there's someone around who can bring you back down to earth, and that you can like have just lots of fun with and be safe at the same time. So yeah, it does make total sense. Yeah, it makes sense with the whole don't let me ruin me. I may need a chaperone. It's kind of funny in a way. It's like a little cheekiness. Like, I want to go and do something fun, but not get self-destructive. But I'm going to need help with that because I'm not very good at holding my impulses. I like how she says stuff like, say I'm an airplane and the gashes I got from my heartbreak make the slots and the flaps open my wing, and I use them to give me a lift. Hip, hip for the lift, hip, hip, hip for the drag. I want them all in my bag. Oh, give me anything and I'll turn it into a gift. The comedy there is nice. Give me anything, I'll turn it into a gift. I just will. Very conversational. Say I'm an airplane, like giving you a example or something. You know what I mean? What's the word for that actually? I do it all the time. Come up with these scenarios, sort of like a scenario, made up scenario, and just to help someone understand you better. But yeah, what a cool song, and her voice so nice. Anyway, next one is called Valentine.
You didn't see my Valentine. I sent it via pantomime.
Sorry, just screwing my chair.
I stared at you and cut myself. It's all I'll do, 'cause I'm not free. Fugitive, too dull to flee. I'm amorous, but out of reach.
Damn.
A still life drawing of a peach. I'm a tulip in a cup. I've made my peace, I'm dead, I'm done. I watch you live to have my fun. I love you, you. I'll root for you.
I'm freezing.
I love you,
Giving me chills.
I made it to a dinner date. I tried to dance but lost my nerve. I cramped up in the learning curve.
Oh, that bass. It's an upward bass, right? So prominent in the ears. I can feel it like in the eardrum.
I'm a tulip in a cup. I stand no chance of growing up. In the wake of tales of you, I root for you. I love you. You. I root for you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, I absolutely love that one. Something about it had such it had like aggression to it, but it was like aggressively loving someone. Like, I love you. It's like, really just like, I root for you. I love you. You, just entirely you. I love you. There's like an aggression in that love, in how much she means it. Maybe she doesn't always feel the same thing back though. Anyway, that first verse, that's all I'm going to say right now, but just that first verse, I'm going to let you sit with it. It's so good. It's written perfectly. You didn't see my Valentine. I sent it via pantomime. While you were watching someone else, I stared at you and cut myself. I don't know if she means that literally or, metaphorically, but it's this bit that got me. That's all I do, 'cause I'm not free. A fugitive, too dull to flee. Oh, it's like, I'm not free. I don't have freedom. I'm a fugitive, so I'm running. I'm running from myself. I'm running from everything, but like, I'm not. I'm too depressed almost, too like lethargic to actually get away. I'm too like, sucked down in that darkness. It's like she's in love with this person, and she's saying she sent it via pantomime because her Valentine, is something to be laughed at, something that wouldn't be taken seriously. And this person is watching someone else, watching a whole entirely different show, and she's just staring at them bleeding on the ground, like pouring her heart on her sleeve for this person. And she's saying, that's all I do because I'm not free. She said, I'm not free. I am free, but I'm too dull. I'm too broken down to actually run away, which happens so much in toxic relationships. And then this bit, I'm amorous, but out of reach, a still life drawing of a peach. I absolutely love that. I might be reading into it in a different way, but it hits me on a personal level in the way that I'm reading it. The way I read it is like with depression, you might feel love within you, but you might not be able to like act on it and show it very much. And it's like a still life drawing of a peach. So you can't go out and grab me, and a peach is very desirable. You can't grab me and like eat me up, I'm a drawing of it. So I'm always just afar. But also it could mean like, I don't know actually, maybe I'll click it. Oh, it literally says, she demonstrates feelings of sexual desire and love, but just as enticing as a painting of a peach, she is unobtainable, an inanimate object, an illusion, even if she is ripe like a peach. Likening her libido to a peach likens love to consumption, something Apple does often. In this metaphor, her only hope for joy is being consumed. So her only hope for safety is to avoid love altogether. She is amorous, so she perfects her image, but cautious, so she presents only this image and separates herself from the world. This leads to a build-up of emotional charge flickering to life here in the song. Yeah, okay, yeah. Kind of what I was trying to say, but added stuff too. Like, she's amorous, she wants to look good and she wants to, flirt maybe, but she doesn't ever want to like follow through when it comes to love or, intimacy. That's interesting. I wonder how it correlates with the other bits in the start. I'll have a look at what those bits might say. So I'm clicking, you didn't see my Valentine, a sentence of pantomime, ending in the I said at you and cut myself line. It says here, pantomime is a telling of a story without words by means of bodily movements, gestures, and facial expressions. So here, Fiona has not actually verbalized her love, but rather tried to enact it, perhaps. Oh, so kind of different to what I was saying. So when I think of pantomime, I think of a silly show, like something funny. But actually, it could just mean being like a mime. Yeah, mime. It does pantomime. Mime's in the word. Almost trying to give off body language, but not giving too much away. Fiona herself said this about the cut myself line. I was a little afraid of putting that line in because I didn't want to make it sound cool, because I don't cut myself. I used to be somebody that would cut themselves, and it is about wanting to feel something that I do. I mean, this is totally from an actual situation of me watching someone else be really alive, not quite in a way it seems in the song, but after a while I realized that I dug holes in my palms with my fingernails. I just tend to do things to myself and don't realize I'm doing it. Yeah. Actually, that's really common, super common to do stuff like that. Poor thing though, horrible. But I do understand what she's saying. Like, yeah, I watch you live to have my fun. Yeah. Like, when you are, I get it. Especially recently, like, seeing people be happy and enjoy life makes me feel enjoyment, because I can't feel it for myself often. So watching people enjoy it reminds me that there is happiness in the world. So it's kind of interesting. However, it makes sense that she's digging her nails into her palm because obviously, in all actuality, she would love to be feeling that enjoyment for herself. So it's like she's enjoying it, but there's another part of her that is desperately pining for that enjoyment as well, for her own self. Yes. And she's like, saying I root for you is interesting because it's like saying, like, I might not be able to have all this fun, but I root for you. I'm here cheering you on. Go on, have a great life. I'm not having one, but I want you to have one. Something sad about it, but I fully understand it. Says here as well, everything that she does for this other person, but by doing so, she focuses all of her energy on them and forgets herself. She has grounded for this man, given as much of herself to him as she could, which is a testament to the love and affection she feels towards him. Nonetheless, she has limited her own capacity to grow. She is rooted. She can't move on. That's cool as well. I root for you, but also she is rooted. Yeah, that makes total sense. So yeah. And that's probably where the aggression comes from. Like, I root for you. I love you. You. And I really wanted to mention this, but I didn't want to mention it before reading the other lyrics. but now I will mention it. When she says you, like all fast and like you, it's almost like she's saying like it's all about you, all you. I love you because it's all about you. The whole world revolves around you. It's almost like a anger and a frustration in it. This is what I do. This is just what I do. This is the way it is. I just root for you, and I don't know what to do about it. A little bit frustrated, but I'm loyal in it, and that's just the way it is, you know? Yeah, wicked. But I don't want to go too far into it because obviously it'll take too long. But I loved all the lyrics. Absolutely. Verse 2 is amazing as well. Yeah. Right, next song is called Jonathan. So much tension and horror in some of these sounds.
Jonathan, call again, take me to Coney Island, take me on the train. Kiss me while I calculate and calibrate, and heaven's sakes don't make me explain. Just tolerate my little fist tugging on your forest chest. I don't want to talk about anything.
Wow.
If she's part of the reason you are hell you are, she's alright with me. Just tolerate my little fist tugging on your forest chest. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about anything. You like
Feels very moody.
A capsized ship, but I like watching you live.
So many dissonant sounds and like distressing sounds and so discordant, you know what I mean?
But I like watching you live. Jonathan, call again, take me to Coney Island, take me on the train. Don't make me explain. Just tolerate my little fist tugging on your forest chest. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about anything.
What a haunting song instrumentally. I literally sit there thinking like, how the hell does she even sing over that? Like how does she manage it? It must be a calculation in itself to like figure out what you're going to do on each part. Like, do you write the whole thing first, the instrumental piece first, and then sing? Or do you kind of go and do them both at the same time and move with it? Because there are moments where the music follows the vocal line, and then there's moments where it just fully goes against it. It's absolutely insanity to me, like, to think about. And like, I don't know, it's not like a song that I could happily listen to, just put on in the car. You know what I mean? It'd be one that I really want to listen to when I'm focusing, you know, if I'm sitting there to listen to an album, it's one I'd want to listen to with intent. You can't have it on like in the car or just play it to a friend like easily without it being like a bit of a buzzkill, in the sense that it doesn't have like a, you know, like a structured beat, a structured format really. And I don't want it to. I like it the way it is, but it's not one of those songs that you do put on in situations where you're like, oh, let's put on this song. You know, it's one that it's a piece of art. That's it. And I feel that way a lot about Bjork's work, where like I can't just put like most her songs on just willy-nilly. It has to be intention now. I have to be in the mood. And especially if I'm doing studying or if I'm playing a game, like that music is perfect. This one is one that I want to really listen to and think about. Lyrically, really interesting too. I love that whole bit with the you know, just tolerate my little fist tugging on your forest chest. And the way she says little, I don't think she means it like, but she could mean it in physical size, like she's small and this Jonathan's really tall and big. But I imagine it's more of like an inner child moment, a vulnerability. Her little fist tugging on his forest chest, like as in like hairy chest, I guess, and being like very, like a little girl kind of clinging to him. And then she says, I don't want to talk about anything. She just wants to hold him and not speak. She just wants to feel that safety and protection from this guy. Jonathan, call again. Take me to Coney Island. Take me on the train. I guess some of the sounds reminded me of a train, but it also reminded me of like a kitchen as well. It's really interesting, those mechanical sounds. It's like field recording sounds, I'm like, wonder what it was. Kiss me while I calculate and calibrate, and heaven's sakes, don't make me explain. This starts to make more sense, I think, the more we go down in the song. Because she then says, Jonathan, anything and anyone you have done has got to be all right with me. If she's part of the reason you are how you are, she's all right with me. It sounds like this Jonathan might be a on and off fling, that she has. And, she wants him to be happy and wants him to be a good man. And whoever he's with needs to be a good girl because she has a lot of respect for this Jonathan. But Fiona and Jonathan are clearly not together. But this is a bit of a naughty moment or something. Maybe they were seeing each other but haven't fully let go of each other, sort of thing. And now and then she'll be like, call me again, take me to Coney Island, take me on the train, kiss me. And she's there in her head though going, what am I doing? And she's trying to calculate and calibrate what she's up to. She's like, I'm trying to calculate, understand the calculation of my brain and why I'm doing this, and I'm trying to calibrate it by reflecting and understanding. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm doing. And she's like, but don't make me explain, because it's very confusing for me, so I can't explain it to you, when I should just be letting you go and live your life. But just tolerate me. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just, have this moment. I know every time I say I won't do it again, but I'm here and I don't want to talk about it. It sounds a bit like that, but I'm not sure. And then, maybe this guy would have loved to have been with Fiona, like as a partner, like a life partner, but she isn't well enough in the head. And that sounds awful, but like maybe she's too, like, talk about depression again. She isn't in the right frame of mind to be having a relationship. She just needs a one-off now and then. Because she then says, you'd like to captain a capsized ship. Like, you'd like to control and look after a ship that is already broken. It's already gone. It's sunk, being washed up. It's, what I mean? And she's like, but I like watching you live. I don't want you to be with me because it'll be a lot of looking after me. It'll be a lot of putting up with my crazy. I want to watch you live. Be with that girl who is obviously treating you right because you're great and you're treating her right. I want to watch you live. I like watching you live, but now and then I want you to call me again and take me to Coney Island. It's like she wants to have him but not have him at the same time. That's what I'm getting from the song, but I will have a little look. While chatting with Interview Magazine, Fiona explained that the song is named after Jonathan Ames, the American author and screenwriter she dated. Makes sense. I might have even talked about him before. I did that because Jonathan likes his name to be spoken. He pisses me off in so many ways, but I'm still very close with him. I felt like he deserves to have a song with his name in it. In Pitchfork, Fiona added, I had come to New York for 3 months to write and take a visual perception class at the new school. I was at the piano and I started writing a musical piece that reminded me of Jonathan because he is so extreme in some ways. He is just so hilariously quiet on day-to-day basis, but when he's on stage or excited with a group of people, he's just embarrassingly bombastic. So I was like, hey, I'm writing this music and it reminds me of you. And he was like, does it have my name in it? I thought, I'll do that for him. But then we broke up. What I've been saying about the song could very much be true. It could be about like spending that time with him in the bit where you've broken up, but you're still like, meet up now and then. And it's like a bit of shameful until someone goes and meets a new person, but it's still kind of loosely hanging about until it's fully gone. It's that little weird stage at the end, you know what I mean? Little weird stage at the end of a breakup. But yeah. Anyway, next one's called Left Alone. So spooky. Very atonal.
You made your overtures when you were showing Doverton to mutt. And I was still a dewy petal rather than a moribund slut. It hurt more than it ought to hurt. I went to work to cultivate a callus. And now I'm hard, too hard to know. Tears calcify my tummy. Fears go inside without told. Can I ask anyone to love me? Do is beg to be left alone.
So relatable.
When I tried to love, and I could love the same man in the same bed in the same city, but not in the same room. It's a pity, but not until this guy. What a guy, oh God, what a good guy. And I can't even enjoy him 'cause I'm hard.
Wow.
I don't cry when I'm sad anymore. No, no, no. Feels going sad without total love.
I love the amount of blues she puts in as
When all I
well.
do is beg to be loved. When all I do is beg to be loved alone.
It's like a spider crawling up the wall.
My ills are ridiculous. The ants weigh more than the elephants. So couldn't we skip the valedictories? I could see a door there, shut it and forget my number. 'Cause I'm hard, too hard to know. Tears calcify my tummy. Fears go inside without told.
I love her voice up there.
And all I do is beg to be left. And all I do is beg to be left
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, that one's quite obvious. And when it comes to lyrics, it's very much like she's been hardened to the world. You know, maybe often when you get your heart broken, you become a very hardened version of yourself for a while, until you maybe meet someone again and those walls get broken down. But you know, when that heartbreak makes you build yourself up 10 times more, you know, strong. I wouldn't even call it strong. It's just hard. Hard is the word. And she's saying she doesn't cry anymore. All these things. You can't. How can anyone love me when all I want to do is be left alone? Like no one can even get close to me. No one can love me. No, I can't fall in love with anyone either because I don't let anyone close to me. It's just such a. Oh, it's just so fucking relatable. Perfect album for me right now. I don't even. It's just. Oh, it's too relatable. Honestly, like when you're feeling low and just like cold and depressed, being on your own is one of like your favorite things to do, really. But also she's sad about it too, because she wouldn't be singing out about it else. If she didn't care about it, she wouldn't sing about it. So yeah, it's actually kind of painful, but relatable. And you know, in verse 2 is so telling. Like, I tried to love, I can love the same man in the same bed in the same city, but not in the same room. You know, like I can love him when I'm being intimate with him and we're just doing like a kind of friends with benefit situation. But if we're in the same room and we're hanging out and talking, you know, communicating, I don't love him, but he's such a good guy, a lovely, good person. I can't even enjoy him because I don't have a lot of things I like talking about anymore because I do feel dull, like that dull fugitive she was talking about, you know? Yeah, she's on the run from her feelings all the time, so now she's cold and numb. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. What an interesting album. And like without anyone having to tell me there's depression involved, I know there is because I know exactly what it feels like. And it's speaking to me on a crazy level right now. So loving it. Right, next song is called Werewolf.
I could liken you to a werewolf, the way you left me for dead. But I admit that I provided a full moon. a shark, but then again, I was waving around a bleeding open wound. A super guy till the second you get away from me. And a bolt of electricity, but we can still support each other. All we gotta do is avoid each other. Nothing wrong with a song ends in a minor key. The lava of a volcano. One thing leads to another. You made an island. And I could liken you to a chemical, the way you made me compound to compound. Cause in the end, I'm a sensible girl. I know the fiction of the fix, but you are such a super guy. We're like a wishing well and a bolt of electricity. All we gotta do is avoid each other. Nothing wrong when a song ends in a minor key. Nothing wrong when a minor key.
Cool, I love that. That's so good. Lyrically, really just outstanding. And it was one of those songs that, like, of course, it still had the clunkiness, but it didn't have anything super spooky about it, apart from the intensity of like the doom, 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 you know, whatever. But like, interesting, lyrically charged though. I could liken you to a werewolf the way you left me for dead. I admit that I provided a full moon. It's like saying, oh, I could liken you to this awful thing, the way you did this awful thing. However, takes two to tango. I did kind of prompt it or, ask for it in some way. And I could liken you to a shark, the way you bit off my head. But then again, I was waving around a bleeding open wound. So it's like seeing it from the other side. Literally, like, you did this awful thing, but I kind of see where you were coming from. But you were such a super guy till the second you get a whiff of me. You're a great person, but as soon as you come near me, you turn. Like, there's something about us that just clashes and we bring out the worst in each other. Yeah, that's literally what the song is. But then, like, my favourite line, but we can still support each other. All we got to do is avoid each other. Like, by not being in each other's lives, we are supporting each other from afar. We could be like, you go, well done. You're doing great. Just don't come near me because we're going to clash. It's like liking the idea of someone. And I love, like, nothing wrong when a song ends in a minor key, and it kind of sounds like the relationship. It doesn't matter if things end badly, we still care about each other from afar. It ended badly, and it's the same way you feel like when a song ends on a minor key. It's a sad key, yeah, but you don't feel sad about it. You feel fine. You feel like, oh yeah, a lot of songs end on minor keys, and you just feel like, oh wow, that was really good, I really like that, I want to hear it again. So it's almost likening the end of the relationship to something as simple as ending a song on a minor key. Says this is Apple's way of saying that there's nothing wrong with sorrow or suffering. Often artists who utilize these emotions write some of the best music, not to mention that her relationship is ending on a sad, sour note. Yeah, pretty much what I was saying. Yeah, I really enjoyed that though. So cool. Fiona told Pitchfork in June 2012 interview, I wrote that song while staying at my mother's apartment up in Harlem. Whenever there's a TV, I put on Turner Classic Movies. I always have it on while I sleep, whatever. I was recording myself doing the song for the first time, and a battle broke out in the movie that was playing. People were shooting and screaming, and I liked it, but I couldn't use it from the movie, so I spent literally the next year trying to recreate that sound. I went to San Francisco for Halloween and was hanging out in trolleys recording people screaming. I would walk past a bunch of drunk people and be like, hey, scream, but it would always sound wrong and stupid. But on the first morning we were planning to record, I'd just gotten out the shower and I heard all these kids screaming. Good. Because I was going to say it sounded like children screaming. I was like, it doesn't sound like a battle. It sounds like children. So there you go. There's an elementary school across from my house in LA. I was like, oh shit, that's it. I threw on whatever was right there, which I didn't realise at the time was a pair of pants that I was going to throw away because the ass was split. And I ran out half clothed, carrying my recording thing. I was standing there looking like a crazy person watching these kids. They were jumping with balloons between their legs, trying to make them pop. In the actual song, we had to take out all the balloon pops because they sounded like gunshots, but it was so perfect. I was going to say, I was thinking, wouldn't the balloons sounding like gunshots make it sound better? But I guess she didn't want to have that kind of aggression. I don't know. Interesting how like that worked out for her. It just worked out for her. Also, that shows someone who's very committed to the art, who is like when I was saying she's a real artist. She is like going out there to try and find these sounds, no matter how eccentric she might come across or how bizarre she might come across, or like a lunatic running out of those split pants. You know what I mean? It's really funny. What a good story, though. What a good story to tell because of something you're trying to get for a certain song. She really puts her soul into what she does. How funny, though. But anyway, yes, next one is called Periphery. Oh. I want to know where all the sounds are from. Also, she was probably using something a little like this to pick up field recordings.
They throw good parties there. Always have a bite to bear. Bear it if you can. If you really want to, go to the periphery. Have them celebrate your name. Run it if you want. If you think it's worth it, but not with me. 'Cause I don't appreciate people who don't appreciate trying to figure you out. You let me down. I don't even like you anymore at all.
I don't even like you anymore at all.
Oh, the periphery. You found a prettier girl than me. And if he wants her, he should get her. 'Cause I think he thinks she's worth it. Buy themselves their own plot of land. And I care in a different capacity. And if he finds himself yearning for his throne on the silly side, besides, he could take it up with his brethren or with his bride, just not with me.
No.
People who don't appreciate if I got boys trying to figure you out. You let me down. I don't even like you anymore at all.
Wow. What are these sounds? Sounds like a mop.
Oh, the periphery. Oh, the periphery.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds like digging something, right? Or like scraping your foot along something. Oh my god, I want to know. That to me sounds like the periphery. It's almost like saying side piece, isn't it? Oh, now it's in both ears. Scraping away there. But yeah, periphery almost sounds like side piece or like, oh, you know, someone that you're looking at on the side, you're going, and it's like the girl that walked by when, say, him and Fiona were together, and then the girl that, like, this is Fiona here, there's a girl walking by and he's like looking at her, and like that was the girl that stole him away. Just that peripheral vision, that something just so small, you might not have seen it, stole him away, sort of thing like that. But I'm going to click on, the periphery, just to see, you know, what might be written. Says the periphery is the outer limit or edge of an object, yes, which is kind of what I'm saying. So when you're looking at the periphery of your eye, it's looking to the side of something, giving you the side stare. For example, in France, the périphérique is the highway that is the generally accepted boundary between Paris and the suburbs. In this case, the word seems to suggest our discomfort with being with the outsiders or the people in the indie scene, since it also means the outer edge of an object. It could mean superficiality, or specifically about the superficial Hollywood people that she is known to detest. Ah, okay, so that's different. So maybe it's not, in this bit in particular, it's not really about like a lover looking at another person, but it's more like looking at the outsiders. They throw good parties there, those peripheral idiots. Always have a bite to bear. Bear it if you can, if you really want to. Always have a bite to bear. Sounds like she's saying there's always something to complain about. They've always got a, burden to bear, basically. And then verse 2, go to the periphery, have them celebrate your name, have them forge you a pedigree, and then you'll be left to run the races lame. Oh, so they'll bring you up and make you feel amazing, but then you'll be left in the dust by them. You know what I mean? You'll end up, it's all like fake. It just feels fake. If you think it's worth it, but not with me. She's saying, but I'm not going to be there with these indie, pretentious, up themselves types. And then she says, because I do not appreciate people who don't appreciate. Being like, I don't appreciate people that don't appreciate, because she's someone that probably does appreciate a lot of things, whether it be music or people or culture. And these people are so pretentious they can't see beyond their own nose, All that loving must have been lacking something. If I got bored trying to figure you out, you let me down, I don't even like you anymore at all. I love that whole, I got bored trying to figure you out, because I can't figure you out because you're shallow. I always think there's something deeper, but it's just shallowness. And then I like that I don't even like you anymore at all. No, I don't like you anymore at all. It's got like a kind of a childlike effect to it. Like, I don't even like you anymore anyway. I don't even like you at all. But it's also like serious, like, oof, I really just don't like you. And it could also be down to something like trends, like how trends change and like things keep moving. And it's like, she's like, oh, I'm tired of like trying to understand all the new trends. I just gotta be myself, and you keep letting me down and showing me that you're not real. Actually, you're just pretentious and fake. So I'm happy just doing my own thing, really. She says, oh, the periphery, I lost another one there. This is where I got the relationship thing from, and her lover looking at someone else. This is where I got this bit from. He found a prettier girl than me with a more even-tempered air. So maybe she lost her partner to one of these people in the periphery, in that indie scene that she so hates, and that might add to why she hates it. And she's saying, oh, and she's better than me, she's more even-tempered. And it's like, oh, a little bit annoying when someone's better than you, right? When in that situation. If he wants her, he should get her, because I think he thinks she's worth it. I think he thinks she's worth it. She's not saying I think she's worth it. She's saying I think he thinks that, so just go for it then. And then, yes, she says, because I think that he thinks she's worth it, and maybe they'll move from the periphery, buy themselves their own plot of land, and I'll care in a different capacity. I'll just be hoping he makes a good family man. And if he finds himself yearning for his throne on the city side, I don't know why that makes me laugh. But yeah, there's nothing wrong as long as he's learning. Besides, he can take it up with his brethren or with his bride, just not with me. It's basically saying, if he wants to go and live with her and have a house and children, then so be it. And I'll just, hopefully at one point, I'll be happy for him. But if there's something wrong and he wants to moan about it, don't come to me, because I'm not that friend anymore. I can support you by avoiding you. Kind of like what you're saying in another song. But for his throne on the silly side makes me laugh. I'm not entirely sure what it means when she says, oh, he finds himself yearning for his throne on the silly side, maybe being like, if he again wants to stray away from being a family man, being married, there's nothing wrong as long as he's learning. If he wants to do that, at least he's learning to be a better man with each time he does it. But it's a little bit of it doesn't seem overly truthful in the way she's saying it. It seems a bit sarcastic. And then, besides, he can take it up with the brethren. Just don't come to me about it, because you did it to me. I know what it feels like, and you're just probably going to do it to the next girl anyway. Something like that, maybe. And she's acting all like, I don't care about you anymore. I don't even like you anymore, whatever. But at the end, she's like, oh, the periphery stole you away. There's a lot more heartbreak in it than you think, than she's letting on. She's like, actually, stole you away. Like, it literally took you. And she's acting all like, oh, I hate that side. Oh, I hate the periphery. Oh, but really, it's just deeply upsetting because her love went off with someone in the periphery. You know, it's really sad. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Next song is called Regret. Let's go. She makes really good use of like those low notes on the piano. She uses them mostly. Gives it such a like intense feeling.
Remember when we argued all the concept of regret? You were an expert even then, but not me, not yet.
Wow.
Now all you gotta do is remind me that we met. And there you got me, that's how you got me. You taught me to regret.
Wow. Cool.
Remember how I asked you why are you so mean? You didn't know how to react to being seen. You made me seem so getting mean. And there you got me, that's how you got me. But I ran a rider's feathers. Soak up the happiness that comes from your mouth every time you address me. Oh, I ran a rider's feathers every time you address me.
Wow. Ooh. It's like a throat singer.
Remember when I was so sick and you didn't believe me? Then you got sick too, and guess who took care of you? You hated that, didn't you? Didn't you? Monster your mother made you to be, and there you got me, that's how you got free. You got rid of me.
Oh, it's actually really sad and oh.
To soak up the happiness that comes from your mouth. I ran out of feathers. Leave alone. Leave me alone.
Wow. This has got to be one of the most heart-wrenching ones. That is really fucking painful. Literally just a song about a really toxic relationship. Super toxic. And like all the things that she learnt from this relationship that maybe she never felt before. And they weren't great things that she learnt. She learnt things like regret and pain and being mean, and she learned what those things are like to feel in her own way, and she learned what they were like to feel as a victim as well of it. But yeah, that whole like verse about getting sick, and it's like and then he got sick and she took care of him, and he was like bitter about it, you know, like he had to eat his words on that one. Horrible, horrible, poor thing. Oh God, it just really gets you, doesn't it? And like, oh, I ran out of white dove feathers. Just, you know, white dove feathers, this kind of like innocence and purity, this softness to soak up the hot piss that came out your mouth every time you address me. The way you, even just addressing me, you were talking to me like absolute hot piss, you know? And she ran out of those white feathers and she started to bite back, and maybe bite back in ways that she never thought she would, and maybe in ways that she didn't want to bite back, you know? Just, he taught her what regret feels like, because she probably regrets ever being with him. Oh, horrible though. Like the story, it's incredibly sad, and yeah, like that one just hits me. Like I think it was said so perfectly. It was easily understandable, I felt, and too understandable. It's just, oh, I feel it. I feel it heavily. But I absolutely love the way she sang it. It's so good. So good. Again, like just amazing. I also want to say, like, a lot of these songs remind me of very, very early Marina. Like, even the songs that are unreleased before her Family Jewels album. So many of her songs were obviously inspired by Fiona Apple. Obviously inspired.
Your theories, your beliefs, and the way you preach for peace, it sounds like vomit, yeah, to my ear.
So that's really cool too, and I always loved all those songs. So yeah, I love that as well. Remember how I asked you why you were so mean? You didn't know how to react to being seen. You know, maybe he's never been asked before why he's so mean. And it sounds like he's a bit of a mummy's boy as well. I know this type too well. I fucking do. I've been there, Fiona. I've bloody been there. And it sucks. But anyway, next song. Let's move on. Next one is called... Oh yeah, did I even finish my thought about being so seen? Oh yeah, I did. Oh, sorry. Anyway, next one's called Anything We Want. Sorry, my back is extremely in a lot of pain. So I'm trying to figure out how to sit so I can do the video with a smile on my face, a bit more happy. Because you have no idea how much I absolutely love doing reaction videos. Well, you probably get a good idea, seeing as I do them all the time. The one thing that gets in my way is my back problems, and it makes me sad, actually. It makes me really upset, especially when I'm doing something I love. Like this. And then I got all this excruciating pain going on throughout my body. It's just so hard to like... How do I feel happy in doing things that I enjoy when I'm in constant pain? Not sure, but listening to the music does distract me though, so that's good. Right, anyway, next one is called Anything We Want. Let's go. Ooh. That's cool. It's like bouncing all over the place.
My cheeks were reflecting the longest wavelength, and I kept touching my neck right where I wanted you to kiss me when we find some time alone.
Man, that's cool.
I look like a neon zebra shaking rain off a strike, and the rivulet had you riveted. Kiss me when we find some time alone.
So much blues.
And then we can do anything we want. Now we try to swallow the weight, and we try not to let those bastards get us down.
Okay.
After all, look around. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening now. Let's pretend we're 8 years old playing hooky. Then we'll grow up, take our clothes off. Remind me that I wanted you to kiss me when we find some time alone. We can do anything we want. We can do anything we want. And then we won't.
I like this one. So many cool sounds, lots of samples. Nice. This song was interesting. It kind of made me think of like being in a social situation where you can't obviously do anything sexual, but giving your partner little hints, like a little like touch of the neck or a little stroke of the thigh, or maybe a little wink or something, so that you know what's coming later. And it's the weirdest thing because it's very relatable. I was literally saying to my partner today, like this was a huge topic of conversation today. I was literally saying to him, like, I miss that kind of feeling because, number one, going on about my depression again, but it just mixes in with the album. I was literally saying to him, like, how I've been feeling so closed off and unconfident. But I think things that might help me are moments like that where you have like a little like, flirtation, fucking flirtation. Because it can be difficult. It can be hard to feel in the mood. So by flirting, you're kind of warming yourself up to it, aren't you? So that was interesting. When I was reading the lyrics, I was like, this is really relatable and weird to exactly what I was talking about today. Like, it's just weird. But anyway, also, if you think of it in a funny way, you can imagine it being like you're looking after children all day, like your kids, looking after them all day. And it's like the parents looking at each other like, later, we'll get our time off and we can do anything we want then. Just let's get through the day. That's looking at it in a different way, though. It's interesting when she talks about her scars. My scars were reflecting in the mist of your headlights. I looked like a neon zebra shaking rain off her stripes. And the rivulets had you riveted to the places that I wanted you to kiss me when we find some time alone. So it sounds like, her scars weren't like offensive to the guy, but in fact, they were like more enticing, more interesting, like where'd she got them from? This person has lived a life, But then again, it could also be a bit dark, like a guy, or girl looking at your scars and being like, ooh, riveting. I want to kiss them. Like, you don't know, that could also be dark, but if you think of it in a compassionate way, maybe what's to kiss them better, But yeah, it just seems like it's a song about flirting, really, and about the lead up to that evening when I get time alone to get down and dirty, which is, so I just can't believe that. I'm sorry, I just can't believe this song has happened, because I was literally having such a deep personal conversation with my partner about this, literally being like, I'm so unconfident and insecure in myself at the moment that like sexual activities or intimacy has been so freaking difficult. And I was trying to figure out ways of how to make it feel better. And I was like, we need to spend some more quality time together. Spend that time together with joy in a joyful scenario, something that's really different to that watching TV and whatever. It's very mundane. And so we're going on a date next week to an arcade and beach and so on. I'm always at the beach. But do something just to like feel a bit more of a spark and like flirtation and communicate over something very playful and fun when there's no room to be depressed. So I just can't believe I was talking about that, and this really reminds me of it. About the song instrumentation, Fiona recalled to Pitchfork, on Anything We Want, I've been playing this stupid pipe thing live, but that sound was actually me at my desk with a pair of scissors, a tin full of burnt cedar sachets, a plastic cup. I was hitting everything with scissors and the cedar was flying all over the place. She is mad, isn't she? Like, she is actually very eccentric, mad, proper artist, but she's so good at communicating her feelings and what she wants and what she doesn't want. She's so relatable in her lyrical, content, but so bizarre at the same time. She just seems like an absolute hoot, to be honest. Just someone that would be really interesting to like hang around with for sure. Oh, so good. And also her the way she sings with this music, it's very smart. Like the way she places her words, she places them almost rhythmically, but she fits them in where she can, and it doesn't sound out of place at all. Like, I was thinking the other day, I was listening to Saint Vincent, and I was listening to the song Chloe in the Afternoon, and it's like, Chloe in the afternoon, Chloe in the after. Like, the drum beat is a little odd, and then so she sang very Chloe in the afternoon. Like, it all felt very rushed, and I feel like it was purposeful, but it did feel like she wasn't fitting it to the beat very well because it was an odd beat. but she liked the way that sounded. It was an artistic style, but just cool. But then you hear something like this, where the beats and everything seems so confusing, yet she fits in like a boss, like an absolute puzzle professional. And it's so good. But anyway, next one is called Hot Knife.
If I'm butter, then he's a hot knife. He makes my heart a cinema score screen show with a dancing bird.
Oh, that sounds pretty.
Makes my heart a cinema score screen show with a dancing bird of paradise.
Ooh.
I get feisty whenever I'm with him. If I'm butter, then he's a hot knife.
That creepy piano. What does this remind me of? I think it reminds me of Relay from Fetch the Bolt Cutters a little bit. A little bit.
I'm a hot knife, he's a pat of butter.
Apple and Margaret. So Fiona Apple and someone else.
He makes my heart a cinema score screen show with a dancing bird of paradise. He excites me, must be like the genesis of rhythm. I get feisty whenever I'm with him. Show with a dancing bird of paradise. If I'm butter, then he's a hot knife, bird of paradise. I'm a hot knife, I'm a hot knife, I'm a hot knife, he's a pat of butter. But he's never gonna need another, never need another. I'm a hot knife, I'm a hot knife, I'm a hot knife, he's a pat of butter.
Ooh.
He excites me, must be like the genesis of rhythm.
I get feisty whenever I'm with him.
He makes my heart a cinema show with a dancing bird of paradise. If I'm butter, then he's a hot knife. Makes my heart a cinema show with a dancing bird of paradise. If I'm butter,
The layering is insane.
He makes my
This is complex. Ooh. Even though it's super chaotic, it really does work. You know what I mean? All those vocal layerings and like different like cadences and rhythms and so on that she's doing with the different words. It is chaos, but it absolutely sounds perfect together, you know? Wow, interesting song that one is. Yeah, it reminded me of Relay a little bit. I don't know. Am I crazy for saying that? I haven't heard it in a while. Let me have a little listen. Evil is a relay sport when no one who's burned turns to pass the torch. I always struggle with that. Always struggle. Yeah, it reminded me of it just because of the boom, boom, boom. You know, like the kind of like that big drum, that boom, you know? I don't know what that drum is called. It's like a bass drum, but like a standing, like a marching drum. And like, I remember the Relay one having that feeling of like, it being a relay race. It really felt like a relay race, like passing the torch, and like as it layers and layers and layers. And the, you know, what's the song that I just listened to? What's it called again? Hot Knife felt like that a little bit too. It really did. But anyway, I want to see what it's about. This song is a playful take on sexual chemistry in words and music. Ah, okay. Apple's older sister Amber, who is a cabaret singer that records under the name of Maud Maggart. Strange name. No offense. But anyway, joins her later in the song. Fiona told New York magazine that they'd stood at the same microphone for hours, weaving their voices in what she called the most intimate moment of our lives together. Oh, that's really sweet, actually. Oh yeah, it makes sense, to be honest. Standing at the same mic together, singing that, trying to get it right, so totally in tune. It's also interesting to note the show business lineage that Fiona and Maud continue. Their grandmother, Maud Apple Robinson, was a Ziegfeld girl. Their parents, artists Brandon Maggart and singer Diane McAfee, met during a 1970s showing of the Broadway musical Applause. Their grandfather was a big band vocalist. Wow, I didn't know all this. That's cool. Very, very, very creative family then. Not just creatives, but entertainers. According to an interview with New York Magazine's Dan Lee, she suspects the roots of the song lay in a Bach concert that she'd seen in New York and the Supremes tune, Where Did Our Love Go? Apple explained the inspiration is the place where two different types of music crack together, which has always given her huge satisfaction. Prior to the album's release, Vulture writer Dan P. Lee spent some time with Fiona at her house in Los Angeles. At the very end of the article, she describes coming across her lyrics scrawled on the back of an invitation to Obama's inauguration. What? On it, Fiona had scrawled many words, including the name Attenborough, and what appeared to be notes from a nature documentary. There was a writing on both sides, including on a back corner, if I'm butter, then he's a hot knife. He makes my life a cinema scope screen showing a dancing bird of paradise. The documentary was apparently discussing natural life in high and low altitudes. David Attenborough, national treasure he is. Interesting though. Nice. I could barely read then. I was literally like tripping over my words. Need some more water, I think. Also, I just think because I'm in like all that pain, it's starting to get to me. I'm more like, can't talk properly. But I am, by the way, I put a pillow behind my back and it's been helping a lot. So I'm actually quite happy about that. Because I was suffering for quite some time. And then I put this pillow behind my back and was like, oh my God, that's so much better. Now it's just my bum that hurts. I love how I've got this like ergonomic chair, yet I still need a cushion. To sort it out. It's not good enough. All right, yes, next one is called Largo. Oh yeah, it's the last one actually. Oh bloody hell, we're already at the end. Okay, I didn't even realise. Okay, right, anyway, Largo, let's go. Last song.
I was recently rid of a man again, so I caught me a cab to see Flanagan. I told myself coming would keep me intact. Flanny shouts from the second floor. I see Guillermo and give him some lip, and I cross to the bar. Ellen pours me a nip. John is on, and how could I listen without wanting to be with him? I feel like singing and drinking and stuff, and I don't want to care if I stumble or cry, and that'll be enough to keep me from dying when I want to die. Too far, go to Largo, to Largo, to Largo. When over the rainbows, too far, go to Largo, to Largo, to Largo.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
John's calling names here like Santa's reindeer, on Palmer, on Lee's, on Sarah, on Sean. And when Mr. Tench is on the bench, I want to be the piano. And I don't want to care if I stumble or cry. Handle me like family and that'll be enough. When over the rainbows too far, go to Largo, to Largo, to Largo. When over the rainbows too far, go to Largo, to Largo.
Those little yodels as well. Go to Largo. Not so much in the higher register. Yeah, she goes, go to Largo, go to Largo, go to Largo. Sort of thing like that. And then, go to Largo, go to Largo, go to Largo. The little like folky, trill in there. Not quite a trill. Go to Largo, go to Largo. I can't remember, but it had like a little vibrato. It was a bit of a trill actually, but what a powerful song to be at the end. A lot of names thrown in there. It seems interesting. Like, she's talking about, it sounds like she's talking about LA. I don't know, she talks about a lot of names here, people that we don't know. That's interesting. And maybe it's just like it's a very personal song, I guess. But I absolutely love the whole like, I feel like singing and drinking and stuff, and I don't want to care if I stumble or cry. Handle me like I'm family. That'll be enough to keep me from dying when I want to die. Again, that self-destruction, that self-destructive place she's in, that kind of, I just want to lose myself and I don't care what I like look like or act like. Handle me like family, like show me that supportive love, even though I might be annoying. Don't abandon me like my family wouldn't abandon me. Look after me and help me not want to, end my life basically, which is, it's heavy, man. It's heavy fucking topic there. It says an infomercial of sorts in the form of a bonus track devoted to Fiona's beloved club Largo in LA. Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, I did think she was talking about LA. I literally said it's like, feels like she's talking about Los Angeles. Don't know why, it just does. All these different names. It feels like she's very homely there, and she's obviously talked about talked about living in LA. And she's saying, I was recently rid of a man again and I'm a bit brokenhearted, told the cabbie the alley in the back. It makes her feel like, she's saying, oh, okay, just the alley in the back. Like she knows where she's going. She knows. And so does the cabbie. That's why I thought it was in LA. And she talked about all the different people, like the locals she knows. Like I see Guillermo and give him some lip. I cross to the bar. Ellen pours me a nip. She knows the names of these people, Very interesting. She talks about John again. I wonder if John is that Jonathan or someone else. I don't know. But wow, really cool last song. However, I do think it might be a bonus track that was stated. What a cool bonus track then. Yeah, wicked. Okay, such a good album. Absolutely loved it. A lot of the sounds were sounds that like I was saying, were clunky and spooky and atonal and dissonant and distressing and discordant, all those things, which made sense for the lyrical content as well. Her vocals are absolutely phenomenal. I feel like she can go even further with her vocals, and maybe she has on previous albums or whatever, but I just feel like, oh my God, I don't know. She's just got such good little tones and so on that are really fun to listen to. I love that croaky one. I love her little sweet falsetto one. I love her mid-range too. I like her low range. It's all different and interesting. She's obviously extremely creative. I don't want to keep going on about the same things I've already said. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I think my favourites, God, it's really hard to pick a favourite right now, I'd have to say. Because I loved Valentine. I loved Periphery was really cool. Regret was sad. And I think we won. I don't know, that had a cuteness to it a little bit. Largo was so good though. I think that could be a favourite as well. Oh, I'm just excited to listen to it again and I'll really know then. But anyway, thanks again, Alfonsi, for the request. And yes, like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and I shall see you next time. Bye.